All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Detroit Lions will be taking on the Washington Commanders on Saturday evening at home in the divisional round of the playoffs. I absolutely love it. I do actually also love Jayden Daniels, or watching Jayden Daniels play football. And I don't know where all this people have lost the plot with this Detroit Lions team. I don't really get it. It happens every time, aka twice, when the Lions lost a football game this past season, or even when they hit their bye week, and even the bye week just now. I don't know what it is. People just the Lions don't play football for 1 week, or they don't win a game one time every 7 days, and people just kind of forget about this team. I was watching TV today, and someone was like, I'd be a little bit worried. Washington, Jayden Daniels, the Detroit Lions aren't great against mobile quarterbacks. And I was thinking back, and I was like, when have they played a mobile quarterback this season other than Josh Allen? I wouldn't say the reason the Lions lost to the Bills was because Josh Allen could run with his feet, but neither here nor there. That's not even the point of tonight's video. We're talking about injuries because Tom Pelissero of NFL.com reported that both running back David Montgomery and cornerback Terrion Arnold were full participants in today, aka Tuesday's practice. This is big. We're going to go through the injury report in tonight. It's 9:30 here in Florida. We're going to go through the injury report in tonight's video, but once again, Washington, it should be a really good game. And I keep seeing stuff like, I don't know how the Lions defense is going to contain Jayden Daniels. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to stop Jayden Daniels' legs. I don't know how they're going to stop it. I don't know how the Washington Commanders are going to stop the Detroit Lions. But like my Green Bay Packers and like fellow rival the Minnesota Vikings last night, I'm not going to talk any ish until the end of the season, because this Detroit Lions team, I'm in theory, and I'll be that's the wrong word. Let me knock on some wood for you guys. I'll be the one to tell you this is the year. Folks, welcome back. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I'm also posting this on our Lions channel. Click the link in the description, link in the comments on Will Upton if you want to see my daily Lions channel. He posts a ton of different stuff, but this is going to be a re-upload. Anyways, the point is, I love talking about the Detroit Lions, and David Montgomery has me feeling really nice. I'm just kidding. But before David Montgomery's injury, he had ran for 775 yards, 12 total rushing touchdowns. He was averaging about 4.2 yards per carry there. And in his absence in the last 3 games, Jahmyr Gibbs was an absolute superstar stud. And that's one of the big reasons, there's a lot of games I'm watching right now, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I live in the Tampa area. Their secondary is depleted. They've had a multitude of different injuries. My Green Bay Packers, we lost our top 3 wide receivers. The point I'm trying to get at here is, the amount of depth the Detroit Lions has, it's kind of almost understated because of all the injuries they've had, right? So there's the old adage, the healthiest team's going to go the furthest. Right, or typically the furthest. I think Mark Sanchez, I don't even think it's an adage. Sorry, I think Mark Sanchez, he probably didn't coin it, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think Mark Sanchez coined that term. But anyways, usually, no matter the sporting league, the healthiest team, advance is further than an injured team, right? But one thing, because we all know the Detroit Lions are decimated specifically defensively by injury, one thing that's been so understated is the amount of depth this team has. Jahmyr Gibbs, I know he was a first-round draft pick 2 years ago. He finished the season winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week and a month, by the way. He ran for 365 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also caught 13 balls for 122 yards, and he's now had 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. So, yeah, Sonic and Knuckles getting both of this duo back, even though Jahmyr Gibbs has been such a stud. I just want to equip Ben Johnson with as many weapons as humanly possible on the offensive side, because I know he's going to make absolute magic, or at least hopefully. Real quick, no practice today. And once again, this is just Tuesday, all right? You guys do have an earlier week in the sense of it's a Saturday night game, and it's not from Rockefeller Plaza. That wouldn't make too much sense. It's not SNL. You're playing a Saturday night game. So It's a little bit sped up, but like I said, and you had your bye week last week, but here were the no practices today. Kevin Zeitler, Pat O'Connor, and Ennis Rakestraw. Last Tuesday, Dan Campbell, the head coach for the Detroit Lions, he gave positive news regarding Zeitler, but he didn't mention anything about expectations, whether good nor bad, about playing against Washington, or at that point, whoever the hell they were going to play. Now, if he's unable to go, you're going to see the rookie, Christian Mahogany, fill in his replacement. He would be the right guard against the Washington Commanders. And even though he is a rookie and it is unideal because Zeitler's had such a good season, if that's what we learn tomorrow in the injury report, if he gets another DNP and we're starting to prep for no Kevin Zeitler, I do think it's going to be okay. Pat O'Connor, we have not heard really anything at the time of this recording from Dan Campbell, so it's not looking good in my opinion. Now, Ennis Rakestraw, the rookie, he returned to practice last week, but he missed today. And keep in mind, it was just a walkthrough, but it was an illness. And I don't know if you're a fantasy basketball player or even just a football fan or a fantasy football fan. I guess it's a little too late for fantasy football. There's been a bug going on in the last month or two. Whether it's the flu, the stomach flu, you name it, there's like been this nasty illness going across the country. It feels like usually when a player has an illness, I feel like, all right, they're just going to get some IV shots. They're going to, just play the game, right? It's just an illness. Flu game, Michael Jordan, Chicago kid over here. But he could not play. He also could easily return to practice tomorrow. And here's 4 tidbits of good news. No longer listed on the injury report, Khalif Raymond, the wide receiver, Alex Anzalone with his forearm, who just came back 2 weeks ago against Minnesota, Jack Campbell, and Amik Robertson. 4 ballers, 4 absolute ballers. So good to see that they are no longer listed on the injury report, just like Terrion Arnold and David Montgomery. And then finally, with the last tidbit of Lions news, because we're pretty much posting daily Lions content at this point. You guys are eating it up. I love talking Lions. I appreciate you guys seriously so much. We always talk about the Lions mainly in our football podcast. I do have a football podcast. The link's in the description. It's called Let's Talk Football. But anyways, Dan Campbell sounds dead set on Lions avoiding circus and Vikings like fate. Dan Campbell had this quote in the presser today, and it caught headlines. We're in the middle of the circus, and now it's time to perform. And this is definitely regarding, Aaron Glenn getting all these coaching interviews, Ben Johnson getting all these coaching interviews. And as much as I hate it in theory, like, all right, Ben Johnson should probably be focused on the game plan. Aaron Glenn should probably be focused on the game plan. At the end of the day, man, the coaching cycle, you kind of forget about it at this time every offseason. Dudes get hired so quick. Like, you fast forward 2 weeks from right now, Tuesday, January 14th, most coaches, if not all, will be hired at that point in time. So I just want to throw that in there. That's it for the Lions news of the day. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL and Now Lions content. But guys, give me your thoughts. Give me an early score preview or any thoughts, any opinions on this upcoming matchup against the Washington Commanders. Peace.